Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zekko football channel. It is Christmas time and everybody is talking about who will be number one at Christmas. And I'm not talking about songs, no, I'm talking about football. The major thing that football fans care about is who is top of the table at Christmas. And thankfully, there's a game to really decide that. Liverpool against Arsenal. Yep, the two teams at the top of the table are going to duke it out for the right to be top at Christmas. And today, we're going to preview it. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, you like the video, and you turn on those notifications. And it's Christmas, so if you could do that for me, that would be very much appreciated. And now let's dive into Liverpool versus Arsenal. It's good to be back. To begin, let's have a look at the starting lineups, and because they are at home, we're going to start with Liverpool. I've got them set up in their standard 4-3-3 scenario. We've got Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold taking that right-back slot, Ibrahim Konate and Virgil van Dijk as the main centre-back partnerships. Konate was missing in the EFL Cup, but I firmly believe that he will be back in the starting lineup for this massive game against Arsenal. Tsimikas comes in at left-back because Andy Robertson is still out injured. They've got a big question to ask Liverpool, and that's whether Endo plays or not. I think he does, because I think they need some kind of defensive midfield presence. Up ahead of him, I've got Dominic Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch. This may seem very harsh on Curtis Jones, and I actually do believe that if it were me, I would start Jones. I've just got a feeling that because Gravenberch was rested, Jones might just miss out and perhaps could play a major part off the bench for the Reds. Moving forwards, we have Mo Salah out on this right-hand side, Luis Diaz out on this left, and I've gone from Darwin Núñez instead of Cody Gakpo. I just think Darwin Núñez's chaotic energy might be the difference and might be the difference maker in terms of Liverpool going forward and taking advantage of that Arsenal defence. This is your Liverpool side. And now let's turn our attentions to the away side. Arsenal are visiting Anfield, and I think they'll turn up with this. I've got them set up in their 4-3-3 scenario. Yet again, like Liverpool, they start with David Raya in goal. I firmly believe he is now the Arsenal number one, and I think that Mikel Arteta will be looking to move Aaron Ramsdale out of the club sooner rather than later. We've got Ben White out at right back, Saliba and Gabriel make up that centre-back partnership, and we've got Alexander Zinchenko out on this left-hand side. Zinchenko is a big question mark for me. If it was me, I would play Tomiyasu, which I think is a little bit more defensively solid. And against this high-firing Liverpool side, I think that's something that Arsenal need to look towards. Up in front of them, we have Declan Rice, arguably Arsenal's best player this season. And in front of him, I've gone from Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz, who started to find some form. He started to find some goals, and I think he's slowly but surely starting to integrate himself into this Arsenal attack. Moving forward, we've got Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus to try and take something away from the mighty Reds. And this is your Arsenal side. Now it's time for the breakdown. The major place that this game will be won and lost, I believe, is going to be in the centre of the park, in the midfield. Both teams are incredibly even when it comes to their statistics. Both teams have only conceded 15 goals out of 17 games. There is only one goal separating both sides in terms of goals scored. So both teams know how to attack and both teams know how to defend. And that means that the major place and the major battle that all of this is going to be taking place in is in the centre of the park. Both teams line up with a holding midfielder. Both teams like their fullback to come into midfield to help dictate the play that little bit more. And both teams have major attacking midfielders to help them go forwards. A very similar style of play. And that's why this is going to be the major battleground for the way this game is going to play out, and this is going to help dictate where the game is going to go and which side will start to dominate possession. The two major players to really be looking at are Dominic Szoboszlai for Liverpool. I'd argue he is their most creative player. He's definitely free-flowing, he's very good on the ball, and he's got the ability to really help Liverpool drive forwards. His ability on the ball to be able to find a pass, but not only that, but also to be able to drift into space, making those blindsiding runs is extremely useful. On the flip side, you've got Declan Rice for Arsenal. By far and away, in my opinion, Arsenal's best player this season. He's been superb. I'd argue near perfect with the way he's coming up with clutch goals. He's stepped his game up to another level. He's able to dictate play that little bit better, and at the same time he's also able to bring others into play. His calmness on the ball and his ability to break up play allows Arsenal to gain a new sense of resilience, a new backbone, and also allow them to transition that little bit easier. There are also some duels that we need to look at, and it's coming down this Arsenal left hand side, the Liverpool right hand side. It's this side of the pitch that I think we're really going to get the really interesting battles. First of all, we have Mo Salah up against Alexander Zinchenko. We know that Zinchenko is not necessarily the most defensive-minded of players. He likes to drift into midfield, and that is where Mo Salah is going to get a lot of his joy, especially through counter-attacks. Liverpool are actually one of the most potent teams when it comes to counter-attacks, and it means that Mo Salah is going to be looking to be receiving the pass from Szoboszlai or the likes of Van Dijk on those cross-field passes to try and isolate Zinchenko in a 1v1 situation more often than not. It's going to need the help of Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel to be able to come and help double up on Salah whenever he sees that opportunity. On the flip side, we also have Trent Alexander-Arnold defending against Gabriel Martinelli. With the way that Liverpool like to go forwards and the intensity that they play at, Arsenal are going to be looking on the counter-attacks on both wings. Now, you could argue that Saka up against Tsimikas is a mismatch in some shape or form, but I'd argue that there is more danger for Liverpool from an Arsenal perspective in Gabriel Martinelli running up against Trent Alexander-Arnold in a 1v1 situation. It's going to take the likes of Konate to come and help shuffle across, and Szoboszlai to come over and try to help out Trent Alexander-Arnold whenever they can, especially if they cheat Mo Salah up against Alexander Zinchenko. This is the side where I think the game is going to have a lot of its real drama, and it's in the middle of the park where I think the game is really going to be won and lost. But let's now talk about the attacking phases of play, and we're going to be doing it for both sides. First of all, let's have a look at Liverpool. When Liverpool dominate possession, they like to play a very high line. The centre of all this is Virgil van Dijk, who shuffles across to help his teammates whenever they need it. Ibrahim Konate will be on the right hand side and Tsimikas will be on the left. Moving forwards that little bit more, Trent will come back whenever he needs to, but he also likes to move into midfield. I wouldn't advise this in this particular scenario because of the danger that Arsenal pose on both counter-attacks. Gabriel Jesus dropping into a little bit more of a central attacking midfield role to try and bring in those Arsenal wingers is going to be something really to look for. But from a Liverpool attacking point of view, it's the two wingers that I think are going to cause a major threat. 1v1 duels is a great way to try and isolate scenarios and create space for your other teammates. Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai will be looking to take advantage of the space created by the wingers, and it's going to be these driving, penetrating runs which I really think are going to help Liverpool try to get the ball into the box, and crossing is going to be an extremely useful part of this. We know how good Trent Alexander-Arnold is. He's arguably the best, if not one of the best, at crossing into the box from wide areas, and it's this pass that I think is going to be the major point that Liverpool look towards. David Raya is arguably the weakest part in this Arsenal team at the moment. He just doesn't look quite confident, and that's down to the instability that has been put into the goalkeeping situation by Mikel Arteta. So I think it would be an opportunity missed by Liverpool if they didn't try to get the chaotic energy that is Darwin Núñez into the box as many times as possible, with late runs from Gravenberch, late runs from Szoboszlai, and beautiful crosses into the box from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let's not forget that Luis Diaz has a good bout of pace about him. He's going to be up against Ben White, and that means crosses are going to come into the box from this Liverpool left-hand side and this Arsenal right-hand side. And Mo Salah will be looking to do exactly the same thing. Mo Salah has actually become far more creative than I think we give him credit for. Yes, he likes to score goals, but at the same time he likes looking for his teammates as well. It's on both flanks, but also utilising the chaos that is Darwin Núñez to try and help them go forwards. Now, I did mention about the Arsenal counter-attack, and it's going to be down to Endo to try and shuffle across, very much like Declan Rice, to try and make sure that Arsenal cannot benefit from the space that is left both by Trent and Tsimikas when he makes those overlapping runs. But that's not the only way that Arsenal are going to be able to try and transition into a more attacking phase of play. Let's take a look at Arsenal's attacking phase. Very similar to Liverpool, we have the Arsenal back four. I've got them pinned back a little bit because I think that Mikel Arteta is going to be a little bit more pragmatic than he usually is. Before, if we think back when they played against Liverpool, they played 45 minutes of their lives. It was a fantastic performance and one of the best that I've ever seen at Anfield. But it all went to pot and they ended up just scraping away with a 2-2 draw. I think Mikel Arteta will be wanting this to be quite a cagey affair, very much like the game that they played against Manchester City, limiting Liverpool to very minimal chances. But when they do get the opportunity to go forwards, they will be looking down the wings, very much like Liverpool. Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka are their main source of goals and creation for this Arsenal side. You're going to see Gabriel Jesus move into these pockets of space that I've highlighted to try and help Arsenal flow that little bit more. Kai Havertz linking up with Martinelli to be able to make those runs towards the byline to get those crosses in. Bukayo Saka has the ability to go both ways. He can go on the outside but also on the inside, and this is going to be helped by the run of Martin Odegaard. Odegaard will have his own duel at the same time up against Ryan Gravenberch, and if he was managing to win that duel, you're going to be seeing both late runs into the box from him, but at the same time linking up with Bukayo Saka to help him get down the byline. I wouldn't advise overlapping runs from the likes of Ben White or Alexander Zinchenko, as that will open up a lot of space, and I think Mikel Arteta will not want that. Zinchenko could move into midfield, but then that puts a big onus on Gabriel to try and stop the likes of Mo Salah when they start to break, and Liverpool will have opportunities. They're actually one of the most dangerous sides when it comes to counter-attacks. Declan Rice is going to need to be on his best form to stop this from happening and to stop the ball going into Darwin Núñez for that Liverpool counter-attack. Declan Rice has done a fantastic job of maintaining composure, but at the same time breaking up play whenever he needs to. He also comes up with some clutch goals, making his way into the box late on to score those last-minute winners. It's going to be extremely interesting, but I've got it going to a Liverpool perspective. I think Arsenal's pragmatism that will come into this game will just limit them that little bit too much. Liverpool will be on a high from winning 5-1 against West Ham in the EFL Cup, and at the same time they'll want to bounce back after their rather poor performance against Manchester United. The attacking power of Dominic Szoboszlai, Mo Salah, and their power off the bench with an informed Curtis Jones might just be the difference in this game. I expect this to be a very, very cagey affair, and although they have the powers of Declan Rice and the likes of William Saliba to try and defend, I think Liverpool might just have a little bit too much. I can possibly see another David Raya mistake, but I can definitely see Arsenal scoring, which means that I've got the score finishing at 2-1 to Liverpool. It's going to be a major clash, and generally with these kind of situations, with the gravity that surrounds these moments, you tend to get the worst football, ironically enough, and it seems like we are set up for that yet again. It could be crazy, it could be mad, but I think that goes against what Mikel Arteta might want. I've got it being quite a close affair, and Liverpool just coming out on top with the power of the Anfield crowd. But I could be wrong, and it could be an absolute classic. Either way, one team will be looking to get out on top and finish at the Christmas #1. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win and why? And where do you believe the game will be won and lost? I would love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care and have a good Merry Christmas.